Okay. Anyway, okay. Anyway, hello guys. Welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about Kachi and Rosie from Ultimate Love reality show in Nigeria, which I think none of us watched or followed. But why we're talking about it today is because basically the show is um like The Bachelor, or I think Love Island is what I think they've been calling it. But it's basically they have an equal number of men and women come together, in a house to find love. And I think people vote for their favorite couples, and I think at the end of the show you decide whether you want to get engaged or and eventually get married to the person that you fell in love with on the show. And I think the sponsors of the show have said that they would maybe for the winners of the show they will sponsor your wedding and give you,
Traditional wedding, or
yeah.
is it
And
co-wedding?
I
Or
think I heard that 10 million was going to go towards the
yeah,
wedding.
okay.
And then they will also yeah, and a house. So maybe second and third place have maybe smaller monies allocated, to their own wedding. But basically that's the whole idea. I think the winner is basically the couple that has the most votes, that people believe in their love the most, I guess. But I think everybody in the show gets a chance to fall in love, and then if you don't get enough votes every week you get eliminated. I think is generally speaking what the issue, how the show um goes. So the winners of the show, Kachi and Rosie, um they won because people really believed in their love, and
Hmm.
now they have announced that they're not going to get married anymore. And so the guy, Kachi, granted an interview to explain his side of the story because he felt that Rosie was putting certain things in social media that was um, detrimental to his character, and that was and that they were lies. And so he was coming on here to clarify those issues. So let me just give a synopsis of what the interview that he granted was and what the key issues were. So I'll start with the biggest issue, right? He had claimed that, so basically after the show, as part of like lockdown and quarantine protocols, they had to stay in a hotel for about 3 months. And in that 3 month period, Rosie got pregnant. And Rosie wanted to abort the pregnancy because she has a kid already, or she has two kids already. One that she's in the kid's life, and the other one that I don't think I think she get that one up for adoption or something to that effect. But this is her third child kind of a thing. So she wanted to abort because she wasn't married, and she didn't want her parents to be like, you again, right? And then she also had like career concerns, and he was of the opposite opinion. But long story short, he felt that she got an abortion without really letting him know. It's kind of what he's claiming, and we'll go into that in more detail. The other issue that he claimed was that she was very um I guess insulting towards him, that she raised her voice at him a lot. There was the other concern about how she wanted her brother to manage them, as a brand when they came out, and he didn't want that. So that caused, some fight for a little while there. I think those were kind of the key. I mean, there's some other salient points, but I think those were the key issue, that she seemed irrational, like she would gaslight him and say that he said something that he didn't say, and then you know she would get mad when he disagrees with her, to the point where he had to apologize even when he's not wrong, for peace to reign. So that's basically what he was explaining. Oh, the other thing that I think I will also mention is that he also mentioned the presence of an ex-girlfriend, because one of the issues that Rosie had, or had accused him of, was that he was still in contact or sleeping with the ex-girlfriend. Now, mind you, the situation with the ex-girlfriend was the fact that they were dating seriously. They had intended to get married. She had met his family, and then they went to go do a genotype test, and she came back AS, and he's also AS. And so I think the girl was still trying to hold on, but he had already decided that he doesn't want to deal with the whole risk of dealing with an a sickle cell child. And so he pulled out, but he did it in what I would say is a very typical Nigerian man fashion. He didn't communicate with her. He ran, he got a job in a different country and went for the job. And while there, he applied for this reality TV show, right? So he hadn't resolved issues with this ex-girl, or this girlfriend, at the time. From her perspective, she just got ghosted, right? So he claims that during the show, because again we didn't watch the show, that he had opened up to Rosie, saying that this is what I have going on outside, but I'm for you. And so when they came out, he tried to on her advice as well, he tried to reach out to the ex-girlfriend to kind of like, let's not have any bad blood. But of course the girl was still obviously hot by the whole how he handled the whole thing. So somewhere in that picture, he claims that Rosie thinks that he still kind of slept with her, or they still rekindled their love at some point in time. So that's kind of basically the high level synopsis of the interview. Where I would like to start for me really is the abortion issue, right? In the sense that what I did not like is that he seemed very, and let me quote some of his words. She told me she was pregnant. I did not want an abortion. Then she told me that we need to go and get this particular pill, which was an abortion pill. And then this guy has the guts to say that he prayed to God that, okay, God, if it's not your will to have this child, that let us not find a pharmacy that will sell us this pill. But like, if it's your will, let's find it. I'm like, bro, like you're a full adult here. You're making it seem like you don't have a choice. Like it's her body, yes, but you're making it seem like you are a victim of the circumstance. Like for me, I feel like the way he teared up at every time he mentioned this abortion, this to me seems like it was a deal breaker for you. So why did you seem to like go? Because he followed her to multiple pharmacies, right, for this in search of this particular drug. So to me, you can't claim that you were an unwilling participant at that point in time. Secondly, you claim that right after we've argued about you taking a drug, the next day you come up with a tummy upset that makes you that you're bleeding, and then I don't know that it's abortion. But then down the line, months after that, I'm putting the dots together. I'm now realizing that okay, you had the. I'm like, bros, like you're making it seem like you're daft, which I don't get the impression.
So was just confused,
So maybe
probably.
you were confused, maybe you didn't really want the kid, I don't know. But to make it seem like you were for like to me, I don't think you can force a man into abortion in the sense that, well, in this context, in the sense that if this was a deal breaker for you and she insisted, then you end the engagement. But you still carried on despite all the tears that they are shedding. Like, how do you forgive a woman that aborted a kid for you
Yeah.
if you are this pained
And
to tears?
shout out to Chude. He asked that question. Why did you
Yeah,
Yeah.
continue
Why did you still want to
after?
go on?
Why?
exactly. So for me, I just feel like like, to me that seemed like acting. Because again, if it's a big deal for you to the point that you're crying, then that to me should be the end of the relationship. There's no too much talk after that. Like, how
Again,
do we come back from that?
let me just say this, because first of all, money is involved. So it's possible that maybe because he was saying something about a contract where, whatever, whatever. So maybe he wanted money. So I'm looking at it on
Fair.
in that point. But another point I'm looking at, because I said this in the last episode, we don't know what she was telling him when because he said that she said, oh, this is my third child, like my parents won't be happy. So
Yeah.
maybe he was trying to reason with her, because even though he's
Mm,
hurt, he has to also take her into consideration. So
because
I feel like maybe at some points, yeah, he knew, because he said he did research and he found out that what the drug was supposed to be used for. So I'm
Right.
sure he was probably hoping, and maybe she was like, "Oh, honey, I won't do it. Don't worry. I'm confused. I'm sad. I'm depressed. Blah blah blah. And he's like, okay, well, hopefully this girl, because she said he prays God will not allow them find medicine. They shall find. So
yeah.
maybe he was not praying that God will not allow her to take the medicine. But I feel like, yeah, it's possible that it could be money that, he wanted to secure the house and everything. We must marry by force. And on the other hand, it's possible that he really loved her and just, was trying not to push, because at the end of the day, abortion is her decision. He has nothing, like, even though
Yeah,
it's his
yeah.
child, like, it's not really up to him. So maybe he didn't want to push her to that point. So I think maybe that's why he's crying. Like, I've lost this woman. On the other hand, it's maybe I've lost the money.
But to your point, I'm like, but to me, I'm like, you're an adult. If I decide that, okay, I want to, like that, I get the shame factor for you, then I'm deciding, or I'm agreeing to abort. Like, then I'm not a victim. I'm deciding, okay, this is the best course of action for the woman that I love, right? But this whole, I'm praying to God that maybe, I'm like, bro, you're making it seem like you're a kid that has no decision making process. You get what I'm saying? In this whole thing, yes, you can't force her to not abort, but you can but you can take a stand. You get what I'm saying? And follow through either way. So I didn't really get the whole crying about like that. But the other thing I want to also go into is this girl, Rosie. Affliction should not rise a second time, let alone
Like, you made
a
a
third
mistake.
time. Like, yes, we're engaged, but like, so in the 3 months, you people gonna buy condom. Like what? Like, why? Like to me, for the life of me, I cannot understand how she got pregnant. Like, I can't understand it, because it's not like it was even early on in the 3 months process. So I'm like, did people not use protection? Like, what was the, like, because I don't like when adults do things and they act brand new when
you shouldn't make the same mistake more than once. Like, and not how many times does she want to make the same mistake?
Yeah, like if you had unprotected sex, then like what did you expect? Like maybe I'm crazy, but like what did you expect would be the result? Like adults need to make
My
adult
own thing is
decisions here,
also,
please.
why wait for 12 weeks? I mean, after the first 4 weeks, she didn't know.
Like, as in, so to me, like it just seems like there was a lot of immaturity that was involved in this. If is this big of a deal for you as a, okay, fine, you had your first child and maybe there was a lot of shame that was aligned to that, then it should be a super big deal for you to not
Definitely.
fall pregnant again. So how did you willy-nilly, like, I don't like, to me, I can't. And she's a bit older too, so I'm like,
Exactly. You should know better.
yeah, so to me, I'm like, there's something that's immature about the way that you've handled your life, and like something has to give there. So I was like, I don't get this whole I'm pregnant again for a third time thing, because I think on the show, even though I didn't watch it, I remember like her being a single mom was a big theme throughout the the show for her. So I feel like better, but you didn't do better. So I don't really understand why. Now the abortion, I think, was a great call, because clearly people don't see eye to eye on many things, but that pregnancy could have been avoided in the first instance. Now, the other thing that I wanted to address was, I feel like many African men, well, let me not say many, but he kept on making it seem like his voice was very calm, very innocent sounding. And my issue was, he said, he gave one example that to me just threw me off. So they had a fight the night before, I think, right? And so she comes back, or so that morning her mom calls her.
Okay.
Right? So they're in bed together. So she's talking to her mom. And then she rolls over and says, "Oh, honey, or something, mommy wants to talk to you." Now the phone is not on mute, because she just passed the phone, to you. And his response to her is, "Why are you shouting? Why are you, is that why you're shouting? Is that it's too early in the morning for all this shouting?" And then she now puts the phone on mute, right, and blasts his life. Right now, for me, the man only saw it from the angle of she was shouting on him. But I'm like, there's no fight that me and you will have, that if you tell me that your mother is on the phone, that is not the time for me to now say, "Why are you shouting?" Like, okay, mommy, good afternoon, or good morning, like, pretend or be diplomatic. But it shows because he also said that she claimed that he was flippant, like arrogant. And to me, that showed, because if you cannot respect my mom enough to say, to just hey, put aside your initial concern, right, of me maybe raising my voice, and just address mom C quickly, and then go on with the day, then you are a very rude person. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I feel like there's no way that I will speak to someone's mom. And then eventually, after she omitted the phone, he now told the man that, oh, mom, see, I can't, talk to you now. I'm angry. I'm like, that just seems rude to me. Or am I the one that's like,
No, I don't think it's rude. I think both these two people, I don't think the girl loves him. And I think he was trying to manage her situation or just manage with her. I don't think she cares about him at all. Because let me just say, I've been in a situation where I was using my parents to lie when I wasn't. Yeah, so when someone, and he said that at first she said it was her parents, and later she now said her career. Like she was just trying, because when you see your family, then people get scared and they're like, "Oh my god!" That's what I said. Like if your family doesn't like you, there's no need to enter. So I'm not going to lie. I've used that a couple of times to just kind of let someone, just leave me alone, basically. So I don't think she was into him at all. So that irritation, she was irritated with him. He was irritated, but also maybe confused. So I think because if he spoke to her mom, with what she told him that maybe my family, something, he will be irritated. So we don't, that relationship is unfortunate. I think it's good it didn't work out, but I don't think she was into him. And then I think he was trying to manage her. I think he loved her more than she loved him, sure. And
but
another
I
angle,
think,
we don't even
sorry, go
know
on.
that child is his own, because this one that's because I don't get why you would have bought. You're somebody that wants to marry you, but then again, like I said, maybe she just wasn't into him at all.
I think you make a fair point in that you're already old enough. We're about to get married. So
Yeah,
what's the big deal? I think that's a fair, if a fair point. But I feel like communication is key, and them shouting at themselves or not able to,
yeah, it's
like I
not.
said, like there is no way that I'm going to be angry at you if your mom calls and wants to speak to me. She doesn't have the background of why we're fighting. I can just pretend, smile, hello mom, good morning, how are
Mm.
you? I keep it moving. If I don't like how you handed the phone over to me, then I will address you once you are done the call with
Yeah, it's a
your
lack of
mother.
respect.
It's a lack of respect. And that was a key thing that she was saying, like, you don't respect
Yeah.
me, of which I can understand as a woman. If you feel like someone doesn't respect you and then you now feel like you have to shout, louder
Mm.
to counteract the, disrespect, right? So I feel like there's a lot of toxic
See, these two people, I don't know what this ultimate love show was just doing. Just clouding their mind with they were in the house forming love. And then they came out like I just feel and that 10 million, they were not going to give them the cash, which was
yeah,
another problem.
Yeah.
yeah.
You have to marry because I remembered in the interview he said that when they were discussing with the
Yeah.
multi-choice people, he said they said 10 million for the
Only
this, for the
10
that,
cents.
for the that, but they did not talk about the
Parents.
parents of the bride. So he now paused it to ask and everything. He was confused as to why it will not cover, why he would have to handle that. So
Yeah.
this whole thing, to me, it was just a sham. And that is why
Yeah.
the ultimate love people did it in a way that they are not going to give the money. Instead, they are going
Yes.
to pay for the so that you have to be. But then obviously, as we can see now, it couldn't even last because the real thing came out. Because
Yeah.
when you're not getting the cash, you can't even keep it up for that long because the wedding, when you do the wedding, okay, you go and sit there in the house, you have to sit down with this person. These two people were very immature people that just
Mhm.
joined together and they did not know. I don't know if they did not know they were not going to get. I don't even understand. Maybe they thought even okay, without getting actual cash, maybe they'll build a career, they'll become popular
Yeah.
with
A
it, so they'll
brand.
make money from it, build a brand. That is why you have conversations of managers being the brother and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Mhm.
was more of a business partnership than love.
Yeah.
As both of you have said, I don't know why somebody would want to marry somebody and then you're pregnant and then you want
You're
to
both.
abort the child or you abort the child allegedly. The whole thing just seems like a whole mess of a thing because I doubt if they knew each other. First of all, I would not recommend anybody going for a show that you will
No, I'm
spend
not a
how
fan.
many weeks knowing the person or months and then you now start planning for wedding. Already planning
Exactly.
for wedding is stress. It
Mm-hmm.
Right.
gives its own stress. Then you now want to now add that to the fact that you've just known yourselves for what 6 months or how many months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not, and I think he said it, which was a good call or a good shout to the show people. You can't expect people to just get married or give a timeline for marriage because the pressure is too much. They're just knowing their new life outside. But then I don't even on that, because even the things he was saying, as you said, Larry, the crying where he was crying, it was just
It's acting.
it was a bit, that was what made me start suspecting him. I was like, are both of you just giving us story
As
that
in,
and the interviewer made it clear, or who made it clear, that they called him to do the interview. The interviewer said before now he hadn't watched Ultimate Love. Do you understand? What I'm trying to say is that ain't nobody know you, and then you just up and you want to like. No offense, I'm sorry, I don't know the real thing, but I just feel it's all fake and stage and all these things. And even though these emotions ran wild throughout their relationship, it is because they were not even in a relationship for being in a relationship sake, or maybe he was,
yeah,
she
that's what I think.
wasn't. It's just there's
They
a
were
lot
not
of
compatible at all.
Well,
no.
can
And
I
then has
come in?
Rosie come to say anything yet?
I don't think she has said anything public. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I didn't really dig into her own side of the
Yeah.
story. But I wanted to say something quickly in defense of the show. If I look at like other love shows in other countries, right, they don't have a money prize. If I'm not mistaken,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yes, yes.
bachelor, the prize is finding the love of your life.
Mm,
That's the prize, and then maybe the
the
brand
sponsor.
that you can build from having fame,
Yeah.
right?
Mm,
So for me, I get the sponsors angle in that if we give you the money on day one, then people are going to come on the show for the business
fake love.
deal, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Fake the love, get the money, and then we split. And then secondly, they can't say, okay, we'll now hold the money for you for the next
Ew.
5 years.
True.
Like they have to move on. They are a bit that you can't have money tied up waiting for someone to. So yes, I get the issue of pressure, but I think that people that have gotten married have also said that it didn't take 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Like when you early on now whether you have enough
Mm,
funds then, or you're waiting for a career to that's the whole that's now logistics issue, right?
yeah.
But that who you want to be with early. I mean, I may be wrong, but early on in that this is someone that I can spend forever with. So I feel like maybe you
Yeah,
put
especially when somebody is sponsoring all the logistics of the
exactly.
wedding.
Exactly.
So
So you don't have that stress. So it's either we are compatible or not. And they even had
mm,
the benefit of a therapist to help them walk through issues. So to me,
yeah.
I'm like, so if you guys were really meant to be, I feel like it would have like you had all the many couples don't have all of this support network to get through their own
Mm,
issues. So I feel like the show people are right in their in how they've chosen to handle, because I know that if they tell Nigerians the only prize is love, I don't think people will come for the show. It's true. It's
it's
true.
true, Sha.
It's
No, no,
true.
no, 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 no fault of the show people, because they did a
Yeah.
good job with this. And to be honest, they even said that on that same day they were doing the interview, there is another couple from the show that was getting married on
Married the
that
next
same day.
day. Yeah.
The next day on that day, exactly. So those two people, Rosie and Kachi, they were not just
We're not meant
what
to be.
they were not meant to
Exactly.
be. They were not mature enough to handle their relationship, because a lot of the things, which is what happens in most marriages that causes them to end. A lot of
Yeah.
the issues they were even talking about were issues that could have possibly been resolved without it getting
Resolve.
to this point.
Yeah.
But it reached a point where now resentment, irritation, everything
Yeah.
built up.
Please,
Not to him.
speaking of meant to be and not meant to be, it seems like Abolare Akonde, whatever his name is not meant to be in a marriage,
Mm.
because like recently a video came out. So he's been married to his current wife for I think about a year now, and they
Mm.
have a kid that maybe like I think 3 or 4 years old now. So
She's
they
five,
were
oh.
also okay. So they've
Oh,
been
they have
together.
it. Oh,
So they've been
yeah.
together for
Okay.
maybe 5 years, but only married
Mm-hmm.
for one.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I guess maybe more like 6 years because the pregnancy is 9 months.
Yeah.
And then a video came out recently of him caressing some woman's boobs. And I
Hmm.
think I didn't really play the audio of the video, but I think from what I was hearing, he was telling guys to stay away from his woman. You get what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
so that video came out, and then he now decided to do another video to apologize for his
No.
the error of his ways. That they should help him beg his
His
wife,
wife.
that she's his life, she's his foundation, and the
Hmm.
whole nine yard. So, ladies, I mean, I would, yeah. Where do you, yeah,
Oh God, this is what the third wife. I mean,
the third wife,
the third
yes.
wife. My own question will be to the Mrs. Nice.
Exactly.
Was he first of all, this video that came out, can I just ask, was he doing all these things when they were dating for 6 years? Was he still in the streets
More
while
than
in the
likely.
relationship? Good. So let's just,
The
that's the
reason
end
why
of
I say
my
that is
question.
because, mind you, there was a video that's come out recently when he did an interview with, I think this
Ebony life.
Ebony Life Girls Talk, where he
Mm,
was of the opinion that either African men or men, that is
Yeah.
our culture for men to
to
be,
polygamy.
yeah, to have
Yeah.
many women. So that is us
Mm,
that are trying to westernize the whole thing. And so
and
I'm like, maybe homegirl, you like, maybe you were aware like that he had this
Was aware. I bet she was aware.
position.
ah,
And
God.
then now he's begging for forgiveness for cheating. And I feel like, well, to me it's two things, right? When he was dating Tony Pitt, I think that's her name, that's his first wife. One
Mm,
of the alleged issues of why he divorced her or broke up with her was because she was alleged to have been giving head to rugged man in a
yeah,
studio.
I
Like
remember that
that was the
bad boss.
rumor. So I'm like, if you cannot forgive cheating, then maybe then you know how big of a deal it is, right?
Mm,
So why would you now go and do the same thing if you're someone that has integrity? Do you get what I'm saying?
mm.
Number two, in the video, like you didn't seem drunk. You seemed
Nope.
very in control of your, like, of the, like, you were where you wanted to be.
Even if he was drunk, let's not stop blaming alcohol, Jory.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he seemed like he was where he wanted to be. He was even claiming, like, like this is my girl. Like, so guys, stay clear. So to me, I feel like you're only sorry that you got caught, is what it seems like. It doesn't seem like you
Mm-hmm.
have any, like, and yeah. So to me, I just don't get what the apology, um,
But why is he why is he even apologizing publicly?
because
What
he
is our
shamed her
business then?
publicly. That was as in,
Yeah.
you
Right,
have to
right,
bring the
right.
same energy, yeah. Like, shame me
Right,
publicly, so you
right.
have to, So I think that was coming from my,
Apologize
yeah.
publicly. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let me just start by saying this. Women, I've said this before, women should choose, like, I don't know, if you want to enter hellfire, you choose that hellfire. Like, I mean, just make
That
sure you're
AC.
ready. Just make sure you're ready to deal with it because nice is, I mean, look at that interview. I remember even after he got married, I was shocked because I remember that interview when it happened. I watched that episode and I was shocked that this man that said this thing is getting married. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for this woman because you are entering Wahala.
Mm.
This woman, this is a man that you had a child for. He cheated on you, left you, married someone else, then came back. This is like the Annie Dibia Two-Face thing
Oh, he came
again.
back.
Yeah, he came back. He left because they have a 5-year old now. When they got married, the girl was already, I think, 2 or 3. He cheated on her when they were together. She was pregnant, cheated on her, left her, married someone else, then came back and married her. So I'm like,
So she was there
Oh.
when he married the
yeah,
second wife.
yes, she was there. Like he
Ah.
was dating her, then cheated on her to marry that one. I think she was a mixed race woman or something. Then now came back
Mm.
to her. So it's like I don't get. And this woman is, I
Isn't that
think,
the Oreka goddess's sister? Am I?
yeah, Oreka's sister is the one he married for. Like he left, he cheated on this
But they didn't
on
marry
how
because I know that they have twins, but I don't know if they formally.
they were married. That was his
Oh
second
wow.
wife. This one
Oh
is his
wow.
third wife. Yeah. So
Hmm.
I'm like, I don't understand. And this woman is successful. So it's like what she, and from what I was reading on blogs, she's the one that apparently is even carrying the family. She's a successful event planner,
Hey
and stuff like that. So I'm
Jesus.
like, I don't, is it juju? Abi, is it karamata or what? I don't I don't know. But I beg, like women need to choose. Like if you know you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, if you can handle the madness, then stay. But if you know you don't want wahala, and some people were saying that she's even the one that told him to go and, like you messed up publicly. Like now so go there and apologize to me publicly.
Yeah.
So some people were saying it's her that they've already settled in the house or whatever. But she won't. That's like her own way of, I guess, humiliating him also. So
Fair.
I don't know, Sha, but I can't. I don't understand people in that situation, especially when you're successful. Like it's different from a gold digger.
I think it's because, and I'm not trying to shame like baby mamas, but I think that when you have a kid with a man that you're not sure of, I think that it makes you open to accept more than on a good
You
day.
want to accept,
Yeah, because
yeah.
that fear of who else will marry me.
Yeah.
I want to have a traditional family for my kid. That
But
that
I think
those
we
those
talked about
things,
this in
yeah.
that episode. Like,
Yeah,
he's a useless
three
man.
children from one man, that she wants to have all her children with the baby
Yeah,
daddy
if it's
that
a
she
useless
Yeah.
person,
prefers.
then what's the point? Like, why make the mistake how many times now? Doesn't make sense.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, and back to what you said, that maybe he has, he came back apologizing because men are wants to do that, right? Maybe they've
Hmm.
gone out and seen that maybe things are not as, the grass isn't greener,
Yeah.
and because I think that while men run away from commitment, I think that all they don't want is the formal title, but they
Yeah.
want that feeling of being able to come home to somebody. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm,
And with the streets being bloody these days, some guys are just there for the cash, and we out. So having that wife to come back home to is a value add. So maybe you're like, let me go and beg that I've changed. And she now said, okay, fine, let us see how things are. And
Yeah.
maybe for a year he did not sleep up until this video um
no, for a
came out.
year he did not sleep up for her to know
Fair,
until the video came out,
fair.
and now she knows.
But for me, it's the peace of mind. Like
That's it. Peace of
one
mind.
thing if you cheat once, right?
But every time you be scared as he's going out,
Now I will
is
have
he
trust.
cheating?
I will have trust issues from the first cheating. Do you get what I'm saying? But I can,
Yeah.
but we can move forward. Maybe like there can be a room to move forward. But if this is a constant, I'm every day I wonder. That call, is it a call to a side chick?
Mm,
Is it going out for a show for real, or is it for you know a side?
a booty call.
Yeah, and for me that lack of peace of mind is like there's.
Life is too juicy for this kind of stress. I cannot I
And
cannot
she's a fine,
recommend it.
she's a very fine, she's very
You
beautiful.
Yes.
understand? Beautiful
Yeah,
woman that is
successful.
successful. It is it's heartbreaking because it's like, why? What is it? What is it? What is this guy giving you to eat?
I don't understand.
Why? The issue is, which is unfortunate, but when I even saw the wedding pictures, I was like, why? Like,
I mean,
yeah, no offense to nice, but it's this kind of thing was okay. Once bitten, twice shy, but this is 1, 2, 3. Now, this third
exactly.
time, now, are you going to be on it? Are you
My
really?
own nice is not a spec. This woman is a spec. I saw this woman. I was like, what? I was even having conversation before this thing drops. I was telling my friend, like, what's like, why are women like, how does nice, like, what is nice? What is he that? And he
No,
was
but
like that. He has politician friends, Kiniko. I'm like,
no,
Oh
if
girl,
Jesus.
you're talking like you're not in the world where, unfortunately, a lot of women do not know their specs. And even when they are specs, because a lot of times I hear stories of a lot of females that are very beautiful and seem to be very insecure.
Right.
And I
yeah,
wonder why. As in, look at
no,
you. Why are you insecure? That kind of thing. But then you realize that a lot of the time it is more, a lot of people are looking at their beauty and they're getting their attention. Maybe they forget to work on their own self-esteem and their self, and just
mhm.
be okay with themselves first before they start giving themselves out to some random people.
Or
And
or I think sometimes, right, maybe the men that come for you are coming for the conquest, right?
yes, that's
And then
another
once they
thing.
get you, they dump you and then move on. And to me, I
Perfect
Exactly.
think
you.
if that happened to you several times, you
You
start thinking
lose
that,
hope.
is it me? You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
Mm,
sure,
is it
sure.
me? Yeah.
because I've even heard some men say, this woman, she's too fine. I can't marry her because
Yeah,
I don't want to be looking, and then because this kind of, the woman is like 20/10, that kind
Yeah.
of thing, that you man, as the man, your heart will be in your chest, because every time the woman says she's going out, you're sure that
can't
men
trust her.
will just be looking at her. Not
Right.
that you can trust her, but you cannot trust the savages out there because they will be on her. So a lot of men have heard say that. So you can imagine, you man, so yeah, people just be coming to drive your train and leave
And just
you
leave.
again. Ah, I don't know what to say to her. I would say she should take heart, but then the other thing I would say, while she's taking heart, she should know that all of us, not only her, all of us, we knew this man even
As
before he
as
married her.
in, we all
So
knew.
although I say take heart, but you should have been knowing that you would take this heart before you married
Exactly.
him, because he, as if they said, he's a man of the streets and he has
Exactly.
shown himself well.
That's
Ah,
it.
What I did appreciate was like there were quite a few well, I saw only one actor that her name is known to me in the comment section saying, "Ah, please, oh, take him back." And I was like, as a woman, again, if this is a one-off, right?
Hmm.
I don't think I will beg my friend, but I will say, okay, babe, maybe there's something that you can forgive here. But if this is a constant, I cannot put mouth in that kind of beg. I'm sorry. Like, if you choose to go back, fine, but I won't judge you.
I
But like,
won't tell you
but I can't put
exactly.
mouth in begging for a serial, um, you know,
did
cheater.
she
Like,
say
I
she
can't.
did she say she's not taking it back, or she's taking it back? Who is begging for advice of take back?
Like I
Shebi Nice
just
said, Nice asked us, the public, to
to
just
help
beg
us.
on his behalf for her to forgive him. So why don't you say, please forgive him? Simple. Because forgiving it might mean forgiving and take back, or forgiving and not take back. She should
Yeah.
have just kept quiet and say, oh, please forgive.
No,
Don't
but
be
we all know that
asking
the
take
forgive is
back
not for
if you
the forgive
cannot
has a
take
take
back.
back. The forgive has a
Oh,
take back. That's the only point that he's coming out for. The forgive
yeah.
has a take back inside. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like, and then for nice, I'm like, honestly, to be married is not by force. To be
It's
like,
not by force.
Yeah.
it really isn't.
I don't understand. Ah,
It
is
really
it by
isn't.
force?
Why do women pick them? Like, why you see this man? This man is not, he's not ready to be married. You now want to go and marry him. Oh, man, deal with
No,
I
your.
he's
think for
ready
this
to be
girl,
married. He
that
will
kid,
do sweet talk. I
Oh,
think so. I
that
think
that kid
so.
is what is making
Is
her
that
not make the
stigma
best
and
decisions.
shame
Yeah.
that Africa gives you of, hey, you're a woman, oh, you don't marry, you have a child, look at you. Blah 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 blah. They will be looking at the woman that you went to go and papa 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 papa, as if everybody
but
knows
look, but
you.
I think
Not opening their leg.
I've seen situations where someone was a single mother and still got married to a correct guy. So I don't get why people are scared of,
I mean, it's
dumping.
possible, but let's also know where we are coming from.
Yeah,
This
Many,
he's
man is
very he's
accomplished.
slim.
many
He's
men will
slim.
stay away from you. And if I'm going to be honest,
Yes.
my first pick will not be a guy that has kids. I'm going to be honest,
Exactly.
Yeah, me
right?
too.
Exactly.
Me
Now
too.
Yeah.
things can happen that maybe if you're really good to me, then I can say, you know what, this I won't let this be a stumbling block, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
But you won't be my first choice,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
to be
definitely.
honest. So
It's
I think
hard.
that's
It's
part of the
actually
issue.
hard. And your esteem will drop if you come with a certain baggage that is already looked down on. So it's
Yeah,
hard. Yeah, it's hard. And the streets, even for the single without baggage, is hard.
it's
Then you
my
with
dear,
baggage now. How are we going to now judge that matter? It's
exactly.
hard though. It's hard.
And I
Anyway,
think some people just really want to be married, sure. Because me, like, I'm not going to settle for anything just because I'm a single mother. Like, I'd rather
Okay,
be by
for some
myself.
people, the weather is cold in the night. The breeze is blowing too much.
Who says that it has to be cold? Must you be married? You can be having some engine, checking up and down and stuff. It doesn't
Oh
have to be.
Lord, I will not be unequally yoked with such thought processes. Yeah.
Children of God, will you shout hallelujah?
Hallelujah. Glory. All righty, we have to wrap up. So